Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. And today's video is going to be a brand new video part of my video series of breaking up the two-party duopoly. In this new video series, this is going to be talking about an important political figure who was the former 2020 Democratic presidential candidate, presidential hopeful, who was vying being the Democratic nominee back in the 2020 election to verse Donald Trump, but didn't end up doing it because we all know who the president is right now, who won the Democratic nomination. That was former Vice President Joe Biden, and he was also the former candidate running in the Democratic primary for mayor of New York City, and ended up losing the mayoral Democratic primary to another Democratic candidate, and his name is Andrew Yang, and just recently he actually left the Democratic Party to become an independent. And as I quote him here, the main reason for this is that he blasted the being stuck in this political system and polarization that is worse than ever before. And that's one of the main reasons why he left the Democratic Party, because he believes, and this is something I completely agree with, and why I left the Republican Party to begin with, simply because we've been stuck with two major parties that really only cares about serving themselves. There's no interest to wanting to work together anymore, to wanting to collaborate with each other, to work across the aisle and form coalitions anymore, because what Yang believes in is that all the parties have to do, all the incumbents have to do, is cater to the 20% of voters within their primary, and they're automatically reelected. They just have to, they're more incentivized to serve the extremes of their parties rather than the majority of Americans. And that's one of the reasons why he left the Democratic Party. And overall, to be honest, I am thrilled. I am so excited that Andrew Yang left the Democratic Party, simply because it's way past time for us, for this country, to take critical action to break up the two-party corporate duopoly, to break it up. It's time to break up these two major parties down the size, simply because they have lost touch with the American people. They have lost incredible trust with the American people, and it's truly time for us to think outside of the two partisan boxes, and it's time for us to really declare our independence from the Republicans, from the Democrats, and start our own parties, or even join a political party, because there's other major political parties out there. But not to get off topic here, Andrew Yang, he started his own political party. He declared his independence and broke away with the Democratic Party to start a brand new, which I would say as a kind of more like a progressive style party. And this party's name is, in what he called it, the Forward Party. It's not left, not right, it's forward. And like in all my videos, I will leave the Twitter to the Forward Party, and the website to the Forward Party in the description of this video below. So if you guys want to check them out, if you guys really feel like you fit in with this party, feel free to actually click on the campaign website in the description below. And honestly, in my opinion, if you do really align with this party, join them. That's how you're going to bring real change to this country. That's how you're going to help more and more Americans feel more represented in our political system and our government. It's better when we have more than just it's better when we have 4 to 8 parties, much more parties, because it'll bring a sense of political diversity, different ideologues all coming together, and they might have some different disagreements on some issues and on some policies. They will eventually find common ground. They will eventually find things they have in common to really want to actually work across the aisle, form coalitions, and collaborate with one another. Because when we get to a point where no party has a majority in the House of Representatives, where no one has a majority in the United States Senate, that's honestly going to mean more ideologue. There's going to be that's in which the Republicans, Democrats, they're going to want to. That's when they're going to start wanting to serve the majority of Americans again, because now they're going to have to form coalitions with parties that they might agree on some issues, but not so much on others. So in this way, everyone governs a bit. Everyone has a chance to be heard on the issues that are most salient and most precedent to them, and that's why I completely agree. And I'm applauding Andrew Yang for declaring his independence and starting a brand new political party to bring that positive change. So now let's talk about Andrew Yang's Forward Party, and yet again, this campaign website will be in the description below, so you guys can check them out either way. So why did he start this party, the Forward Party, for instance? And the main reason is our democracy is broken. We can't fix it. And what he believes, and I honestly believe, is that we are stuck with two destructive parties that really only care about incentivizing the extremes. They have lost so much touch from the American people, and it's time for all of us to actually look outside of the two-party system and really understand we need to start electing more and more we need to start electing newer parties like Libertarians, Greens, Independents, Reform Party, Constitution Party members, to really bring back a sense of coalition building and division back to American politics. And one of the main goals of the Forward Party is, like as I quote here, while other political parties look to divide America into different camps, the Forward Party aims to bring them together. We welcome both conservatives and liberals, independents and libertarians, anyone who is interested in solving the problems that are currently plaguing our country and is willing to debate ideas in good faith. We will support candidates for office who align with our core principles so that we can reform the system and make it more responsive to the American people. This means that we will support Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, as well as candidates identifying themselves as Forward Party members. We will also work with organizations that are prompting democracy reform in order to promote policies such as ranked choice voting, open primaries, and easier ballot access for third parties. Even though if you guys remember watching my one of my early episodes, episodes of part of my Fixing American Democracy series, you guys may well know that I'm not a big fan of open primaries, and this is one of the cornerstones I do not agree with. I do not agree with open primary elections. I simply am for closed party primary elections with ranked choice voting, and I understand. I completely understand where Andrew Yang might be coming from on this principle, simply because what people like Unite America, the reason why they support open primary elections is simply because currently in our they're making this argument when it comes to the House of Representatives election, is that a lot of incumbents, I could be pronouncing that wrong, incumbent politicians, representatives, they don't have to do, they're pretty much, if they're in a very gerrymandered district that's very lopsided to their party, that guarantees them re-election. So all they have to do pretty much is win the primary, win the 20% of people within their primary, and they get re-elected. And Unite America believes that if we have open primary elections, then that will bring much more competition, where incumbents can't just win their party's primary and they're automatically re-elected. So pretty much they want to make it. They believe that open primaries would bring back a sense of nonpartisanship, where the politicians, the representatives representing very lopsided districts, have to actually are much more incentivized to serve the majority of Americans in their districts, and not just the extreme ideologues of their party. And while I understand that there's other systems of design to actually get politicians to be more responsive to the American people, like mixed member proportional, having closed primaries, and having the independent commissions, I think we can go in a way to have closed party primaries and still have a really competitive and really help make elections far more competitive, where the general election isn't over before it begins, like what it is now under our current system, where incumbents that win their party's primary, like AOC, for instance, who won her primary and all that, and she's in a very lopsided district. So once she wins her primary, she's guaranteed re-election. So the general is over before it begins. I think we can have another system of design that can make far more competitive elections, that will keep the extreme sides of politics out, and while we can get back to a sense where political parties are serving the majority of Americans again. And even though I don't, and that's one of the reasons. And you guys may know that I'm not a big supporter of open primaries. I think we can have other solutions to fix these problems. But not to get off topic here, I went on a big tangent. I'm sorry about that. And one of the core principles, and I already talked about it, one of them is ranked choice voting in open primaries. While I do agree that I think ranked choice voting can really reform our democratic elections and increase turnout in our elections, because everybody can vote for a favorite while also voting for a safety candidate, part of their second or third choice. Another core principle of the Forward Party, for instance, is fact-based governance, which means, as I quote, utilizing data in order to establish standard and shared baselines of where we are and how we are doing will ensure that our elected representatives are doing their jobs. Politicians today compete in messaging and news cycles. They should compete on results. The only way to know how you are doing is if you agree on facts. And if all parties can agree on one version of reality, we should be very concerned about political leaders who don't accept that measurement of social and economic health have weight, and that science is real. Spin must have limits. Parties can differ on what goals they would like to pursue, but we need to share a baseline of where we are and how we are doing. And that's one of the major core principles of the Forward Party, is really accepting the idea of where we are and really bringing it back a sense of like reality to our leaders, and understanding where we are in government, and really understanding the issues and issues that are plaguing our country today. And another big principle of the Forward Party, and this doesn't really surprise me, because Andrew Yang really, he really cares more. He really wants to build more of a human-centered style of capitalism. Is that the purpose of it? One of the core principles is, he believes the purpose of an economy should be to improve the way of life of its people. That is, to improve the measurable quality of life of each and every person in a society. We measure our economic health based on GDP, stock market prices, and headline unemployment rates. Meanwhile, life expectancies is declining. Deaths of despair are surging, and millions of Americans are getting pushed aside. Our economic system should be geared to benefit us, with life expectancies, average income and affordability, child success rates, mental health, clean air and water, and other measurements of our well-being front and center. We must humanize our economy to work for us, instead of continuing to see ourselves as inputs into a system. And true, I do. Somewhat, on some areas I do agree with it, because I took an economic course. GDP isn't the best, even though it might be a good indicator of how well our economy is doing. It's not a good indicator of someone's standard of living, and that's one of the reasons why economic health shouldn't just be based on GDP. We need to understand how other people are doing, what's their standard of living like, and that's one thing I do agree with. But in my opinion, if we want to help other people, if we want, like one thing I'm seeing on the news, if these progressives want increased government spending on healthcare for all, or free college tuitions, let's first grow the economy. Let's grow it. Let's grow the economy first. Like, cut taxes and let's spur investment, and that's what will grow the economy even more, to the point where we actually add more money. We will have far more resources to be able to afford these government policies, like universal basic income, which is one core principle that the Forward Party supports. And even though I might not completely agree with it completely, And as well, he also another principle is having effective and modern government, grace and tolerance, and that's a lot of their policies of what the Forward Party stands for. And you don't have to be a Democrat, you don't have to be a conservative, you don't have to be a liberal, you don't have to be an independent, you don't have to be a libertarian. You can be anyone. You can be a Republican, you can be a Democrat, you can be anyone. And the Forward Party will welcome all these people into the party to actually bring back a sense of that are big advocates for democracy reform, that are big advocates to actually reform our democratic systems, to really bring back a sense of collaboration and coalition building to the parties. And honestly, I support this movement, and I'm glad Andrew Yang decided to build upon a brand new party, a brand new party to fix our democracy, to truly create a government that's truly by the people, of the people, and for the people, that shall not perish from the earth. And so before I end it here, let's look at their major platform. I already got into the open primaries. I already got into ranked choice voting. Another proponent to their democracy reform is term limits. I might not agree with it. They believe in term limits for elected officials as well. They also support things like democracy dollars, in which fight the influence of mega donors in our elections and allow the voice of the people to be amplified by providing every American voter with $100 democracy dollars for each federal and state election cycle, like providing essentially, which means people who like voters, they'll be able to be provided money when it comes to federal, state elections. Another thing he supports is independent redistricting commissions, where instead taking power away from state legislatures to draw the districts, but more into the realm of having independent redistricting commissions draw the district, which would be that would help create fairer congressional districts and more that will make it far more representative to the people. But overall, I'll leave the other policies that he supports. But overall, you guys, comment down below. What do you really think about this party? Do you absolutely agree with me? Do you think it was great for Andrew Yang to start his own political party? I thought, honestly, in my opinion, as someone's channel is all about reimagining America and breaking up the two-party duopoly and fixing American democracy to truly create a government that's of the people, by the people, and for the people. I am even more prouder that Andrew Yang is starting his own political party, and I hope more political figures in the future come out and leave their own major parties and start their own party, or even join an existing party like the Libertarian Party, for instance, that's already on the ballot in all 50 states plus the District of Columbia, or even help grow the Green Party. It can be any party, you guys, that best shares your values. And honestly, I am 100% on board with Andrew Yang on this idea. I might not agree with him on some issues like open primaries or term limits, for instance, but honestly, in my opinion, the Forward Party and other third parties and independent candidates is what we need the most in our politics today to truly break up the two-party duopoly and reimagine America for generations to come. So share your opinions. Share your opinions about Andrew Yang's Forward Party in the comment section below. And don't forget to talk about other third-party independent candidates that are running for office in 2021, 2022, 2024, and beyond. Because we can all be agents of change that will truly break up the two-party duopoly and fix American democracy for even generations, and I mean decades to come. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And until next time, guys, this is the Young Centrist, and I am out.